We welcome, I suppose I should say, to our Victory XR webinar on AI, artificial intelligence, teaching assistants at the mostly the higher ed level, but really this applies to corporate, enterprise, K-12, whatever the case might be. Our first use cases happen to be in higher education, and so that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to give just a few more seconds for people to join in. But as we do, I'll let you know that we are fortunate to have really one of the great technologists, not just in the United States, but in the world, Dr. Lucina Morris from Morehouse College. She led the way with Metaversities, and now she will lead the way for the rest of higher education in the area of AI TAs. And we're going to explain what's different about what Morehouse College, the differentiators to what's being done in the marketplace today, and other products or options that might be out there. So you can sort of judge for yourself if you think they're legitimate differences or not. So I'm going to go ahead and get started since it's 12:01, and I'll say this. First of all, I'm Steve Grubb, CEO and co-founder of Victory XR. We work in the 3D spatial learning world. And primarily for the last 8 years, we have deployed our 3D spatial learning to virtual reality worlds, to metaversities. And it was without AI, just old-fashioned human beings. But now, what has opened up before us is this amazing, amazing world of artificial intelligence that offers us options that have never before been possible in the history of humankind. And so we have a few ideas, but we know there are thousands of other ideas. And so I'll actually ask for your opinion on that in a few minutes. But let me go ahead and begin sharing my slide deck. Okay, I suspect everyone can see that. I think I will probably start at the, oops, not that one. I will likely start at the first slide instead of the last slide, if that works for everybody. Okay, I'm assuming you can see this. Cassie or someone on my team, let me know if you can.
We are good.
All right, good. So we're going to talk today about AI teaching assistants, and this includes traditional TAs. I know not all colleges use TAs. At the University of Iowa, where I went for undergrad and law school, we had TAs. So first of all, the community of higher education recognizes that this is a big deal. Chronicle of Higher Education did a really nice story on it. Inside Higher Ed, Axios. It is not just a small iterative step forward, but a revolutionary step forward that will change the way we work and what work we do. Everything from MSN to niche publications have all been focusing on what Morehouse College will be doing this fall and the work that Dr. Morris will be bringing to the classroom, and Professor Hamilton and others. I'll let her talk about that later. But it's a big deal. And so I'm going to start by just showing a quick video. This is a couple minutes long, but it gives you a pretty good idea of what we're talking about here. So I'm going to click play, and then I'll come back and go more in depth.
Hi, welcome to Victory XR's virtual invertebrate biology lesson demo. Yes, what is your question? Great question. An invertebrate is an animal without a backbone. Invertebrates make up the majority of animal species on Earth.
Welcome to our forklift safety training session. Yes, what is your question?
What OSHA regulations should I be reading to understand forklift safety?
Great question. You should start by reviewing OSHA Standard 29 CFR 1910.178, which covers safety regulations for forklifts.
Okay, I will read that. But can you tell me how much weight I can put on a forklift?
It's important to remember not to exceed the rated load capacity for your forklift, as outlined by the manufacturer.
Hi there, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for your interest in my office spaces. Is there somewhere specific you'd like to begin?
I need to make sure we can sublet all or part of the office space. Can we put that into the agreement?
I understand the importance of flexibility for your business operations, including the ability to sublet the office space.
All right, we'll talk more about that early access in a little while, but let's talk about the difference between a chat bot and a 3D AI assistant. So as you may know, there are a lot of chat bots. You can go to Khan Academy and use their Khanmigo, and you can ask questions and it will provide some answers and some context and might ask you some questions. So there's a lot of value in that. But here are the differences between a 3D AI assistant and a chatbot. And chatbots are, fairly easy to build these days. I say easy, and my devs probably would quibble in that term. But here's some things to think about. So one of the things that you want when you're teaching is you want slides. You want to be able to have a 2D visual for students to be able to take notes or whatever the case might be. And I'm making some generalizations here, but your average chatbot does not allow a visual to be integrated into it. The 3D AI assistant expects to have 2D slides and other media as well. 3D models. If you think about a lot of the things that we learn in this world, 3D models matter, whether it's small engine repair, whether it's anatomy, whether it's biology, history, inorganic chemistry. 3D models matter. And again, chatbots are primarily text-based, and 3D AI assistants, again, expect 3D models. Active lesson teaching. So when you use a chatbot, it's primarily there to answer questions. You ask a question, it provides an answer, and a pretty good answer. A 3D AI assistant allows for the inclusion of an actual lesson to be taught. And we're going to show you an example of that in just a minute. But it matters that a student who might be learning a complicated concept in quantum physics, or let's say geometry, it matters that a lesson can be taught by that AI assistant, that AITA, teacher, whatever the case might be. So active lesson teaching. And then we all know that if you just turn a student loose, they may or they may not learn the material, but they're going to get to the end of the media. They're going to get to the end of the video, whatever the case might be. One of the great things about this 3D AI assistant is it allows assessments to be integrated at regular intervals. So you have a concept, you can ask a quick question to make sure that they learned that concept. And this assessment right now is fairly basic, but I know that the 3 curriculum specialists on our team all want us to get to more complex assessment tools. So that's a piece of it. And then conversational avatar. It's one thing to be able to type and to type your questions in, and that's great. And that's certainly possible with both the chatbot and the 3D AI assistant. But in a lot of instances, and we're going to show you a couple, you want to have the ability to have a conversation with your TA, your SIM, your teacher, whatever the case might be. You want to have a two-way conversation. And so the 3D AI assistant, it's an avatar that you talk to. And, that avatar, while not lifelike, yet still replaces the opportunity to just have text and chat going back and forth. And then one of the other important things is that you may want it to be available in a browser. There are 2.6 billion people in the world with access to a Chrome browser. But you might also want it to be integrated into your virtual reality world. Let's say that you are learning surgery in virtual reality, or you're learning forklift safety in virtual reality. In those instances, you want to have that delivered in virtual reality, and you want to have that AI assistant in there. So those are some big differences. And again, I'm going to repeat it. These are generalizations. There are a lot of chatbot products on the market, but in general, when you see a chatbot, it's going to be a text-based Q&A for the most part. I want to stop now and actually show you a couple of these. So I'm going to pull this up. So this is Wendy Martin. She's a K-12 teacher, and she teaches invertebrate. Well, she teaches all sorts of biology, but in particular, she teaches invertebrate biology in Iowa. She is a National Teacher of the Year.
Steve, you want to switch tabs?
Oh, thank you. Share this tab instead. Sorry about that, everybody. Thank you, Tyler Goodman. You can see this, I assume? Okay. So you load it up. Now notice, this just loaded on a web link. I didn't have to go and download a program or an APK or anything like that. It's just a web link. And while it does have a few seconds to load the graphics, this is it. So some instructions, and here's Wendy. So we're going to let her start teaching here. Wendy,
Hi.
go.
Welcome to Victory XR's virtual invertebrate biology lesson demo. I'm Wendy Martin, your guide through this fun and educational experience. As we proceed, you will be asked to consider how the form of a particular structure fits its function. Correlating structure and function is an underlying theme in all anatomical studies. Now, let's get started with classification and characteristics. The squid is a complex, intelligent invertebrate that allows easy comparison to both higher and
I'm gonna
lower
ask a
level
question.
animals. Yes, what is your question?
What is the phylum of a squid? Now, I could press this button and speak, but sometimes on a webinar, it gets a little janky, so it's easiest just to type it in. So Wendy's going to think about this for a moment, just a few seconds, and then
Great
she's going
question.
to answer. Well,
Squids
thank you.
belong to the phylum Mollusca. This phylum includes a diverse group of soft-bodied animals, like snails, slugs, and octopuses as well. Squids are specifically part of the class Cephalopoda, which is known for its intelligent and highly specialized members. Is there a particular aspect of squid anatomy or behavior that you're curious about?
Now, I can continue having this two-way conversation with the AI teacher here, or I can resume the lesson. I'm going to resume the lesson because we want to show you a couple
There
of
are over
other
300 species of squid. The classification of the squid we will be working with today is on the whiteboard behind me.
I want to get to the assessment, so it's going to take just a
This
minute.
particular squid type is classified in the phylum Mollusca and class Cephalopoda. Mollusca is the second largest animal phylum, behind the arthropods, and evidence indicates that mollusks have been around for more than 600 million years. Now let's get into some specific characteristics of this animal. Cephalopods are mollusks with tentacles, a siphon, a closed circulatory system, and well-developed eyes. They move by jet propulsion and most lack an external shell. The nautilus is the only cephalopod
So
with a
2D,
complete shell, while the octopus
2D
has lost
piece
its
of,
shell completely.
Of learning. It could be a
Is the
slide,
circulatory system of the squid open or closed?
an image
Choose the
that you
correct
put in, a
response.
chart, whatever you want to add. So now this is an assessment. Is the circulatory system of the squid closed or open? Well, I've taken this quiz a few times and I know it's closed.
Good. The squid circulatory system is
I'm going to
closed.
pause this and stop sharing. And let's see. And I'm going to have to share another tab here in just a minute. But next, we're going to go to Dr. Musina Morris's Mini-Me. This is her TA. And the value of something like this is that as a professor, okay, I need to actually stop and go share a tab, I think. Okay, hang on. There we go. Okay, sharing. Let's see here. All right. Dr. Morris.
Hello,
Now
I'm
notice
Dr.
the room is the
Musina L.
same,
Morris,
but we'll have
Dr.
other rooms you
MOM
can
at
choose
Molder of
from.
Mines, a world-renowned biomolecular chemist and technologist who taught advanced inorganic chemistry using virtual reality. I am the director of the world's first metaversity, Morehouse in the Metaverse at Morehouse College.
We
have
did brag a
wonderful
little bit
and
about
interactive
Musina when
digital
we
twin
built this.
campus. As a biomolecular chemist and educator, I'm thrilled to guide you through the fascinating world of chemistry. First, let's discuss the foundational concepts of this discipline. Today, we embark on a
I'm gonna
journey
pause
to
here
understand what
and stop
chemistry
sharing.
is, the significance of matter.
We'll let Dr. Morris talk more about what she plans to do in the near future, but I'm going to go back to my slides now. And 17 after, we're going to go a little bit over today, but I'm going to move through this pretty quickly. Currently, we have 4 AI assistant products: a teacher, tutor, TA, lecturer, whatever the case might be.
Switch to tab. Switch your tab.
With tabs, shoot, thank you.
And share your screen.
Yeah. Sure.
I am so bad at that. Okay, back to switching tabs. Got it. Thank you. I need all the help I can get. Okay. Slideshow. Okay. If we can't see that, let me know. 4 AI assistant products: teacher, patient, Mr. Know-It-All or Ms. Know-It-All, whatever you want, and the negotiator. These are the 4 products we have in the market right now, working with different universities and colleges. You know, the teacher, TA, Morehouse College, patient is Seton Hall, negotiator is University of Indiana, Kelley School of Business. And while I don't have time to show you all of these, I'm just going to give a brief description of them. I'm going to skip this one. You saw this already. But the patient is, for example, Seton Hall uses it in their counseling and therapy program. And so patients, the student will interview a patient to learn more about, you know, their symptoms and try to make a diagnosis, or in the case of counseling and therapy, to try to provide some valuable feedback and assistance. A Know-It-All, this is a product that's not in the market yet, but it's a product that I guess we have it in the case of HR right now. But if you have a lot of information, there's so much information that you just can't find what you're looking for. It's good to let an AI organize it and then to ask the AI questions about it. So, you know, you might have your HR handbook may be, you know, 100 pages long. Nobody ever reads the whole thing. You can have an HR assistant that takes you, you know, you can just ask, you know, how much PTO does someone get in their first year? Things like that. And in the future, it'll even be able to integrate into a personal profile for companies that want that or schools that want that. The Indiana University Kelley School of Business Negotiators, pretty cool. They have a negotiation course that they are well known for. And so instead of providing a human to always be on the other side, which creates a lot of friction, they now have an AI sim who will negotiate a real estate contract with you. So it's a pretty cool deal. So with our AI teaching assistants, you can sort of see what their environments look like. You've got the teaching classroom. This is the counseling patient. At the University of Iowa, they have a campus tour with an AI guide. You can ask her, what are 3 reasons I should attend the University of Iowa? Is Steve Grubbs really your most celebrated alumnus? Things like that. And then this is our contract negotiator, our Indiana School of Business. And then this is our sales agent right here. So this is with a company called Daikin. They have Goodman and Amana. And they've got a lot of heating and cooling devices that are complicated. If you've ever tried to buy a new air conditioning unit for your home, it really helps to be able to ask somebody questions. And, typically we might ask a sales agent, but if you go into like Menards, a lot of times those people have no idea what the details are. So Daikin is creating this AI expert. And then this is the warehouse trainer with the AI on forklifts and that kind of thing. I'm going to skip through this because we're running short of time. I'm going to make this slide deck available to you. And I'm going to just ask you right now, what do you think? You've heard some of our ideas for places that the market is currently saying AI assistance would be of value. But I'm sure you have a lot of other ideas. And because of that, we would love to have you share ideas in the chat box so we know what we need to be providing. And here's why it matters. We're going to be providing educators with a creator license, a free creator license. And, students will need to have a standard subscription, but an educator will be able to use our do-it-yourself, build your own AI tool to copy and paste and upload their content for a class or a course or, a specific learning module and be able to build their own and create their own. And we'll be able to put it in our public library in some circumstances, and in other circumstances, if it's the right type of material, it may be able to go into the store where you can make a very nice royalty off of it. So there's a lot coming, and I'm going to pause now and turn it over to Dr. Morris, who's going to talk about how she actually intends to implement at Morehouse College. Dr. Morris, maybe take 10 minutes. That's going to run us over a little bit, but take 10 minutes and then we'll take some questions.
Now, you know better.
I do, but
I'm going to act right, though. I'm going to do okay because I am an educator and we start on time and let me not say I end on time because I talk a lot. But anyway, hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Messina Morris, Dr. Molder of Minds. I've been molding minds for a long time. Not just at home, because I'm not just Dr. Mom. I am a mom, have 5 kids. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I got my audio shared. Okay, perfect. Okay, let me just share the entire screen because see, that works for me.
Got it.
Got it. Y'all see that?
I do.
Okay, perfect. So today we're talking about the AITA, and that's me, my digital mini-me. You can find me at unitethemetaverse.com. But anyway, I'm all these great, wonderful things, a biomolecular chemist, an innovator, Metaversity director, education professor, VR pioneer, and thought leader. And people ask me, why AI? And the reason why has a lot to do with how organic it happened for us at Morehouse College, and not that we were chasing out the trends, but the need of the students was more important. And so having that 24/7 availability means a whole lot. Now, AITAs have been used in the past, but they've been more like chatbots. They've been used to enhance efficiency and to reduce administrative burdens. They've been used to personalize learning and student support, improve access to information for students and for educators. It's been able to help enhance classroom interaction, and it's been used in class and outside of class just to give students access. I even have a colleague, Kenneth Gaucher, who's been using chatbots in his software engineering department to help students understand career pathways. So in essence, AI powered things, including assistants, including teaching assistants, is not new, but how we're using it is new. So when we think about what the future of classrooms really are, we are in the age of the intelligent classroom, where AI, technology, and educational pedagogy actually intertwine. So no longer will we be able to learn in these siloed environments. Everything is interdisciplinary because everything is intertwined, and technology is interwoven into every discipline. So AI is what is powering our new teacher assistant, which at Morehouse College, we don't even have teaching assistants. And so for me, it's a win. Make no mistake about it, I hear the concerns, and we are definitely maintaining a humanity first approach to how we are crafting this and creating this and making it accessible for our students, because human intelligence created artificial intelligence. And so humanity is at the very core of what we're doing, keeping high levels of emotional intelligence involved. People ask me, why does my avatar look a particular way? But that's how I look, and I want that same warmth portrayed through my avatar, because I want my students to feel like I am in the room with them when they're struggling. But I wanted to do a little throwback really quickly, because I know I'm dating myself, but do y'all remember the homework helpline where you would like call if you know, on the phone, and you would get access to like another teacher on the line? They may or may not have been able to help you with your homework, especially if your teacher gave you a specific worksheet. So that was a lot frustrating, but they would kind of like try to help you think through a particular problem. I know a lot of y'all may or may not remember. If I That was in 1984. And at the time when Homework Helpline was available, it was a big deal. Parents didn't want children on the phone. They didn't want them just, you know, calling and getting some teacher to help them cheat. And it shook up the way that education understood. But when they started to see that students were performing more districts started investing in teachers that worked after hours. Instead of working at the local grocery store, teachers could work at Homework Helpline. So we're not replacing anybody. We're actually giving access to curated courses, course relevant information for our students, that we actually guide 24/7 accessibility to information after class to be retaught whenever. It's available on Chrome browsers, which for us, we could do immersive, and we will. But for those professors that don't want to be in a headset necessarily, but they want access to Chrome browsers, they can do that in our Metaversity as well. We have the spatial 3D demonstratives, informative assessments, and you'll have a dashboard that you can look at. So AI is the new TA, and we are happy for it. So in terms of outcomes, at Morehouse College, we've already proven with our students that we've seen student achievement increase. We have a wonderful assistant director, Dr. Ovell Hamilton, that did a wonderful study showing that from face-to-face classroom instruction to online course-room instruction, we don't see any improvement in student achievement. But that when we added virtual reality and made it the classroom, that we saw 11.9% increase, which is on par with other studies. We've done studies with Baton Global, with Victory XR, and other institutions. And so we know the Metaversity model works. but we know that we can reach 75 times more students with Chrome browsers. And so the number of student interactions, engagement, the length of interactions, and student grades hopefully will increase. Those are the outcomes that we're looking at. How many times do students interact? What's the length of the interactions, and will student grades increase? Steve already showed you a little bit about, but I just wanted to kind of just iterate. They'll be in this environment and be able to ask questions when they want to. And you know, students study in the middle of the night. So this will be wonderful for them. And you know, they don't speak in complete sentences and they don't have complete thoughts a lot of times. They're frustrated. And so it's been able to go through and just help me, no punctuation, you know, define it like a third grader, and it will go and do that. And I think students will never ask a question. And so students can ask it at the level where they are, and it will answer, and it won't ridicule them. They're not holding up class. They're able to talk to it. So I'm speaking to it, and it did pick up my voice. I didn't have any punctuation, and it still is going to answer the question back in kind. So it will go through and answer the questions. And so we're going to be looking at the number of student interactions, engagement, the length of their interactions, and whether their grades improve with this access. So this is my slide on Mythbusters. And so I'm going to share this slide too, along with Steve's at the end. But the myth is that AI will replace teachers. The present fact is that AI actually will augment human teachers by providing 24/7 support to our scholars. We need it. Our students need it, and it's able to close those learning gaps that we can't close because they'll be more apt to ask those questions they probably wouldn't ask in class. And so another myth is implementing AI requires extensive technical expertise. I know I'm a chemist, and I know that seems quite intimidating, and I'm a technologist. However, the teacher dashboard, as Steve showed, is user-friendly, requires no coding, and all you do is insert, upload your lessons, your scripts, what you want it to say. My avatar is those are my words. That's what I scripted it to say. And so then AI is detrimental to students' learning and encourages cheating. You saw the homework helpline just happened. That was in 1984. We've come such a long way. So let's continue to employ technology and technological tools for good. So we need to teach students how to appropriately use AI. AI-driven education is only for older students, for like just online and lifelong learning, which is, it is good for that. But early AI integration into K-12, into early education, actually helps to demystify the technology and allows young people to understand how it's supposed to be used and to create their own workflow and their own ethos. And then AI in schools compromises privacy and security. In this digital age, we are taking all precautions to make sure that privacy and security are paramount. We would not be doing this as educators if we thought any harm would come towards our students. And so these are some hypothesized outcomes that we're looking at Morehouse College, is improved academic performance. So with personalized and timely support, that students will show improvements in test scores, their grades, but their overall academic performance. Higher engagement and motivation, that engaging in interactive AI tools can lead to increased student participation and enthusiasm for learning. Better retention rates. So if we continue to support students and personalize their learning paths using AI, might this reduce the dropout rates or stop out rates for students and help them stay on track with their studies? And then enhanced skill development. Students could actually develop better critical thinking skills, problem solving tools, and technological skills using these AI tools. And these are tentative use cases for Morehouse College. Definitely the Department of Education, where I am in training pre-service teachers on how to implement AITAs in their own classrooms across all disciplines. In the history department with Dr. Ovell Hamilton, Introduction to the African Diaspora is one of his courses. Sociology department, Dr. Adria Welcher, Intro to Sociology. The Student Success Center with Dr. Derek Bryan, have spoken with him and his staff to see how we could work with these high need areas of math, physics, and foreign language, and then provide peer-to-peer tutoring support through the Student Success Center and study group support. We already do some of that through the library, working with our digital librarian, Patrice Williams. She's on our Metaversity team as well. But our effect on student outcomes are that the students will ask more questions, which leads to greater understanding, closes the gaps in understanding at their own pace, and that student engagement will increase outside of class. And so they're able to relearn previous lessons uninterrupted. So this is a resource for educators about AI that you should definitely read. There's a glossary of artificial intelligence terms for educators that the Center for Integrated Research in Computing and Learning Sciences has put out. The DOE has put out an essential guide for developers about how to design for education with artificial intelligence. This just came out last week. Artificial Intelligence and the Future of Teaching and Learning, which was their insights from the DOE from 2023. And then there are several other published research papers here that I've listed that are really, really good for you to dig into, just to give you a baseline of how AI has been used and how it's been optimized in education. And so I'm going to stop sharing my screen at this time and give it back to Steve.
Thank you, Dr. Morris. I'm just going to say one last comment and then open it up to questions. You know, one of the things that Dr. Morris talked about was student-safe AI. And when you try our invertebrate biology, and if you ask an inappropriate question, I think you will be happy to see that Wendy or whomever does a really nice job of bringing people back on point. So let's go ahead and open it up to questions. We can take questions through the text chat, or I think that Cassie can open up so that you can ask the question. So, and I know there were a couple of questions in the chat already. So Kazim, what would be the cost for a course assistant? So here's how we're structuring it, and you'll be able to request this and get this via email. There are three ways that we're pricing it. Florida A&M, FAMU, they are charging each student a per student fee that I believe is $125. And with that, the professor gets her portion, and then we get our portion. So that's one option, sort of the textbook option. The second option is just a standard VXR license, $150 a year. Less than $15 a month. And that gives you access to all of the AI, but also it gives you access to our virtual reality platform, VXR Lab. So it's, and within VXR Labs, there are hundreds of learning experiences. So it's, that's a really, really good deal. And then for some universities who are saying, hey, we want a license for every student in the College of Engineering, we have a site license, and that is significantly less than the $150 per student, and that can be done either by semester or by year. So there's a lot of options with that. I'm going to pop a slide up at the end, but you can reach out to john@victoryxr.com. Cassie, maybe put that in the text. john@victoryxr.com for higher ed, or Erica@victoryxr.com for K-12. And then for homeschool, go ahead and put that in there. I think it's Kathleen@victoryxr.com, but let's just verify that. And so anyway, you can figure out what it's going to cost, what option works best for you. But we should have a beta ready for you to start building your own in a couple of weeks. So Cassie has a form you can fill out if you want to actually be one of the early beta testers. So I think I saw a question for Dr. Morris in here. Oh, yeah, we will share that. Everybody who signed up for this will receive the deck, Dr. Ronellis. Cassie, do we have anybody that is queued up to ask a question, or should we just go through text chat questions?
I don't see any raised hands at this time.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to ask a question. In the meantime, I'm going to continue. Covered the cost. Well, there we go. Don, you want to open that up, Cassie?
Yep. And you should be good to unmute, Don.
Don, just go ahead and unmute and ask your question. All right, well, Don's figuring that out. Let's keep moving through chat questions. Don, just go ahead and speak up when you're ready. And if anybody else wants to ask a question, just raise your hand. I saw one question, and maybe you covered this, Musina, but what do you think is the step-by-step process for rolling your AITA out into classes this fall at Morehouse?
So the teachers that the faculty that we're working with are actually starting from their syllabus, and they're actually recording themselves, giving their presentation so that they'll have a script and doing like text to speech and going back and editing it and then uploading it into the AI. But it's drag and drop. It depends on how much you want to say. For us, the biggest thing is making sure that we put those formative questions in there along the way. But a lot of us already have that because we've been doing it. We teach that way anyway. So it's a matter of just making sure that we have I think our best part is designing the avatar. Like, I think that's probably the part that gets people stumped more than anything. It's not the uploading of material. That part is like getting ready for class.
But talk real quick about one of the things you said to me is, that there's two things that professors really don't like. One is office hours when it's on the first page of the syllabus. And second is when a student misses class and reaches out to you to reteach them the class they missed.
Right.
Talk about the use of AI in those two instances.
Okay, so for office hours, we have students that can't make office hours. They really can. Their schedules do not allow them to meet at our times, but our schedules don't allow us to meet at their times either. Well, instead of them waiting to catch me in between walking to a different class or a meeting or whatever, they can actually have access to the class content in real time when they need it. And then students do miss class for various reasons. Some of the times they're on trips because they're in the band or on the road, and they need access to information. Now, we sent headsets all over the country, but even this is better because it's on the Chrome browser. They can get the information that they need. Even students, when they're sick, they have the opportunity to still be able to utilize this information and know, okay, at least I didn't miss out on what was happening in class today. And I don't have to go and try to finagle my schedule and possibly not get an appointment with my instructor or even one of my study group members for the next 24 hours to 48 hours. So it's really worth it for students to have that real-time instruction when they have that eureka moment, even in the middle of the night, for students that do go to class. But for students who miss it, for students who need to be retaught, for students who have gaps of learning, and they'll never ask that question because they're just too timid about that, and they don't want to hold up the class, but they need to ask these questions. I mean, it will break down and close those learning gaps for those students.
So I've got a couple of questions here that I want to address.
Go ahead.
The Sims, that's a really good question. And one that right now, the $150 is going to include unlimited questions, and we're going to monitor this the first couple months and see if we lose money on it, because OpenAI charges us every time you or a student asks a question. Even if you go into that sample that I sent you and you ask a question, OpenAI sends us a bill, essentially sends us a bill. So there's a cost to us. There's a cost of goods, essentially. It's not very much, though. You know, it's like a penny, maybe more, maybe less. And so we are trying to project how many questions the average student will ask. And as long as our projections are right, we're not going to have to like draw a hard line. But my developers are very concerned about this. And so we're going to monitor it closely and decide if we have to put a limit on the number of questions or change the pricing structure, whatever the case might be. But hopefully we'll all be good. And we also have a cloud fee that we get charged from Microsoft whenever you are just accessing data in general, not even AI. So that's our cost of goods that's built in that we have to cover. Inderjeet Singh is asking, can we build custom LLMs with the knowledge base? So you can build your own custom LLM essentially on OpenAI. The way our model works, it works within a framework. It's a do-it-yourself form that lets you customize exactly what you. Okay, Tyler.
Right. I was about to say, Tyler, take it away. Tyler.
Yeah, we're currently using OpenAI, and we've been upgrading as they upgrade the newest models. So right now we're on 4.0. And as far as customizing that, we can do things like fine tuning in the future. But right now we're just using what OpenAI delivers, and we kind of pre-program a set of instructions to control how the AI responds.
Got you. All right. Thank you, Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Inderjeet. We're 15 minutes over time, and we appreciate that. So B. Audvar, if you could send us any similar tools that you've seen out there, we would love to do a compare and contrast with them. And we'll actually put a page on our website comparing and contrasting, because currently we don't know any that are as robust as ours, especially with the build your own tools and some other things that are out there. So please let us know what else you're seeing, and we'll let you know how it compares. And you can try ours out. We're not charging you to try ours out, so it's a pretty good deal.
I'm telling you, it's good to be first. Remember, you always said that, Steve. I like being first. People don't like being first, but I like being first, because when you're first, you're blazing a trail for others to follow. And when you're first, there's some perks that come with being first and hitting your head up against the wall just a little bit.
Yeah, people always expect like Stanford or Harvard to be first, maybe Arizona State, but really Morehouse College is the place of original innovation right now in this immersive learning world. So, and the thing about you will find at Morehouse College is they just have professors who are willing to put in the time and try new things, which is, that's sometimes hard to find. So thanks to Tanya and Ovell and Lucina
and Ethel,
all
and Ada and Monique and Mickey and Lavanya and Tara and Michael and Nina and Bria and Patrice and Rosalind. And listen, I think that's all, but all of the people who support our program and all our funders.
So with that, I'm Steve at victoryxr.com. You can reach out to me if you want, and please let us know what else we can, how else we can help. With that, thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Dr. Morris, and please feel free to reach out, and we will go from there.